Hey guys, we did this activity lesson 1-1 about the speedometer, and we answered these questions in class. So if you don't have these notes, make sure you get them from another student. Now we're going to use these notes though to answer the question about the robot, okay? So we use this. It says use the conversion tool you came up with. So we said if I have a value I can put in and I multiply by 1.6, I get out the value I'm looking for. So an example of this is we put in 10, and if I go to a calculator and do 10 times 1.6, so let's go to a calculator. Where's my calculator here? Oh, there it is. 10 times, oh, sorry, we got a little advertisement here. 10 times 1.6, we get 16. So back to our notes, 10 times 1.6 is 16. That's how we knew this one was correct, right? And we could have done another one, and I think we did, 13. If I put 13 as my input, times 1.6, 13 times 1.6, I get 20.8. 20.8. Well, I probably would round that out, so this one's okay. It's not wrong, it's just rounded. And then the last one was 55. When I multiply that by 1.6, I get 88. So that told me that this one should be corrected. It's off by a mile, or excuse me, it's off by a kilometer, right? Now we could also use this same conversion tool. This is like the vocab word we dealt with today. We can use this conversion tool to work backwards, right? So if I didn't know the mileage, but I knew I multiplied whatever it was by 1.6, if my answer or my output was 92, then most students in class figured out, oh yeah, I could just divide each side by 1.6. This would cancel, and I would get x is equal to 92 divided by 1.6. 92 divided by 1.6, 57.5. So this sign is the same as 57.5 miles. So if I wondered how many more miles it was to go, that's my answer. Now to check my answer, I could go back into the conversion tool, right? I could put this input value, 57.5, and make sure that if I multiply by 1.6, I should get 92. So 57.5 times 1.6, I get 92. Voila. So we learned about these conversion factors, and it's very similar to our 1 and 2 step equations we did before. Now, how can we do this, use these ideas to find out the robot here, okay? So this is our question, and these are actually just our learning goals. So you can kind of read over those. This was what they were hoping for you to learn during the activity. So it says the lesson should prepare the student to do this activity. One of the first walking robots had a top speed of 1 mile per hour, or we know that's the same thing as 1.6 kilometers per hour. Today's model of robot can run, so 1 mile per hour is the equivalent of 1.6 kilometers per hour. Now, if today's model of robot can run about 4 miles an hour, what's that new robot speed? Okay, so miles per hour. So there's a couple ways you could do this. I could give you probably 2 or 3. Some students might notice, okay, so if it's 1 mile an hour is 16, 2 miles an hour would be just another 1.6, right? And one more, another mile per hour would be another 1.6. And so then one more would be one more. And we could do this with smaller numbers. And so there is our answer. So our answer would be the new robot speed should be 6.4 kilometers per hour, right? So, but how would we use our conversion factor? Well, again, we have our input, right? And our output. So if they give us an input value of 1, we get out 1.6. So if I put in the input value of 4, so 4 times 1.6, 4 times 1.6, I get 6.4 again. So that was another way to do it. Same answer. Last but not least, we talked about slope, or the tilt of a straight line. That's the change in the y over the change in the x values. So if they just gave us these values, and we call this x and y, the y values changed from we don't know. So I'm going to call that y. And then the original number was 1.6. And then the x values changed from 4 to 1. Right? We know the slope, though, was 1.6. So we can solve for this number using algebra. We get y minus 1.6 is equal to 1.6 all over 3. So using algebra, this is definitely the longer way around. We could multiply 3 on both sides, and we get y minus 1.6 is equal to 3 times 1.6. 3 times 1.6 is 4.8. Now I want to know what this y value is, right? So if I added 1.6 on both sides, I get y is equal to these added together. Same answer. Okay, so I can use slope, I could use a table, or I could use this conversion chart that we made in class. Well done, guys. Go ahead and scan all your notes you took today in class. Oh, those were the notes from before. Scan all the notes you took today in class and upload those as a single document to Canvas. What does that look like? I can show you right here. This is the lesson for speedometer, and you're going to upload those right there, and then I will grade them.